Hey guys, and welcome into my way too early 2017 MLB Season Preview video. Let's be honest, it's like February 20th. It's a long ways away from the MLB season getting underway. Well, really not that long, but like 6 weeks or whatever the hell it is. But I'm antsy to talk about baseball. I really am. Spring training games get underway at the end, I think this weekend, like Saturday, I believe. So just a few more days until that gets started. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, especially if you're watching this video, that are just like me and are antsy for some baseball. And so we're going to do some baseball talk here. I'm going to go through each division, give you my predictions on how the division standings are going to end up, throw in my wildcard teams, and just do the overall predictions. Also, I wanted to say, anyone watching this video, feel free to comment down below your predictions. Tell me what you agree with, what you disagree with. That's what makes this fun, in my opinion, is just hearing other people's thoughts. And I'm not offended if you disagree with me in any way, shape, or form, because let's be honest, I'm going to be extremely wrong probably about at least half of these, because it's a long season. Injuries happen. There's always surprises, disappointments. You never know exactly what's going to happen, but let's get into it. First, we're going to go to the AL East. The AL East I see is the most competitive division probably in baseball, because you got, in my opinion, 4 really good teams, or 4 pretty good teams, I should say. 5th place is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays, and the reason being they can't score. Their offense is anemic. Poor Evan Longoria, he starts his career, he goes to the World Series in '08. He has a lot of success as far as the team and himself. But in the last few years, he's been basically irrelevant. You kind of feel bad for him. Hopefully soon, Tampa Bay deals him and he gets to go to a contender. I am an Evan Longoria fan, but he's been basically irrelevant now for a few years. But they're going to finish in last place, in my opinion. Then you get to the 4 teams that are all pretty good. The Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. I believe 4th place is going to go to the Baltimore Orioles. Some people may disagree with that. Last year they won 89 games, tied with Toronto for 2nd in the division. Got beat by Toronto in the wild card game. I see them dropping to 4th place this year simply because I don't like that rotation. Don't like Ubaldo Jimenez. Do not like Wade Miley. Chris Tillman's looking to be on the DL to start of the year with a back injury. So, you got Gausman. And that rotation's weak, let's be honest. And I do like the offense. Manny Machado. Chris Davis, yes, he strikes out a lot, but he's going to hit you 30, 40 home runs. J.J. Hardy, Adam Jones. They have a lot of good offensive players, and I still think they're a team that wins over 81 games. I think they're over 500. I just think with a division that competitive, they finish in 4th place because of their weak rotation. They do have the secret weapon in Zach Britton at the end of the bullpen, who's one of the best closers in baseball, and he's really able to nail down those 1-2-run games, but you got to have leads, and I think that rotation's really going to struggle against good AL East lineups to get them leads late. For me, 3rd place goes to the New York Yankees. They're a team that I like their offense. Their outfield with Gardner, Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge. I like that outfield, especially if Ellsbury can stay healthy. Up the middle, you got Didi and Starlin. You got Greg Bird at first. You got Gary Sanchez, who looked like an absolute stud with the bat last year. So the offense looks good. My issue is the rotation. Tanaka's good, but I don't consider him an elite number 1. He is good, though. He's the top of the rotation starter. But then what? You got CC Sabathia. He's an innings eater, but he's not the same pitcher he was. He's on the downward side of his career. You got Pineda. He's got a lot of potential. Gets a lot of Ks, but he also has always tends to have a high walk rate. I just don't think they have the starting horses to compete with the top 2 teams in that division. The bullpen also is good. They're kind of a lot like Baltimore. Good lineup, good bullpen, bad rotation. For me, the number 2 team in the division is the Toronto Blue Jays. They're a team that lost Edwin Encarnacion to the Indians. That's definitely a big loss, but they still have a good offense with Donaldson, Tulowitzki. Jose Bautista came back on a 1-year deal. See if he has much of anything left. Basically, he's back because no one wanted him. I like Travis. I like Pilar. I like Russell Martin. And I also really like the Toronto rotation. I think they're really undervalued. Aaron Sanchez, 15-2 last year. J.A. Happ won 20 games. Estrada's a good pitcher with that changeup. Liriano had started consecutive opening day starts for Pittsburgh. He's not, him as your number 5, that's a pretty good number 5. Then you got Stroman. Yes, he's a tad bit erratic from time to time, but he's young. I think pitching the wild card game could help him down the road, and he's got good stuff. There's no denying that. But I still think they finish in the 2 spot because I think Boston is the class of that division at the end of the day. I think they're going to win, 93 to 97 games, led by the Bees, the B group on the offensive end with Bradley, Bogarts, who the hell am I forgetting? Bradley, Bogarts, Betts, and Benintendi. So you got those four, the B squad. Then you got Pedroia. You got Mitch Moreland, who's now has the responsibility of trying to replace David Ortiz, and he's no slouch. He's had 2-3 consecutive 25 home run seasons. That's a good offense you have over there in Boston. And then you add in the fact that they throw out the horses of Porcello, Price, and Sale. Find me, there's not too many 1-2-3s better than that in baseball, if any. So give me Boston to win the AL East. Holy shit, we're almost 6 minutes in. I've done one division. We're going to have to speed this up, guys. Now to the AL Central, where I think it's the defending American League champion Cleveland Indians are going to once again win the AL Central. And it's that rotation. I just said how great Boston's 1-2-3 is. Cleveland's might be just as good with Salazar, Carrasco, and Kluber. Those three are outstanding. Then the offense, you got Kipnis, you got Lindor, Santana. You bring in Encarnacion over. Michael Brantley's coming back. That's a hell of an offense that they got over there. Ramirez at third base. He had a great year last year, kind of out of nowhere. I expect Cleveland to be really, really damn good and compete with Boston for the number 1 seed in the American League. For me, the number 2 team in the AL Central is the Kansas City Royals. I see a lot of people picking them to be third in this division, and I think they definitely, if I was a member of that team, they're not that far removed from being the best team in baseball. And, last year they had a lot of injuries to their offense. Moustakas goes down early. Perez was injured at times. Gordon. They still have a great group of offensive players. The rotation, I do not think is very good. And then Ventura, unfortunately, him dying this offseason. My condolences, obviously. Big loss for Kansas City. They already had a weaker rotation, and then you lose a guy like Ventura. It makes a weak thing even more weak. But they have Duffy, they have Ian Kennedy. They brought Hamill and Travis Wood over from the Cubs. See how they do. I think that offense, though, with Kane, Moustakas, Hosmer, Gordon, Perez, Escobar, that's still a really good group of offensive players. And I think Kansas City is going to have a chip on their shoulder coming into the season. And I think they take the number 2 spot in the AL Central. For me, number 3 is the Detroit Tigers. A lot of people think they'll win number 2. I think they just have too many guys that are going to be, and they kind of already are, but too many guys that are now on the downward sides of their careers. They have a lot of big-name guys, like Verlander, Cabrera, Kinsler, Victor Martinez, but I just think a lot of these guys are on the downward side of their careers. I don't think they'll be bad. I think they're going to be about a 500 team, maybe 80. I'll say anywhere from 81 to 84 wins. That's how I see their season going. Pretty mediocre. Third place. Fourth place, I think, goes to the Minnesota Twins, a team that offensively I think is kind of exciting. They got a lot of young guys. Not a big fan of the rotation, though, and I think that they will take a step up from last year, but I just think that they're pretty much set in stone in that 4th spot in the division. And for me, last place is going to be the Chicago White Sox. This is a classic example of a team that's, virtually tanking. If anyone on their team has any success, they will be moved. I think they finish in dead last and are in the running for the worst team in baseball. Then to the AL West, you got, in my opinion, it's a battle between 2 teams for the top spot. And last year, the Houston Astros came in with a lot of expectations, were expected to win the AL West. They failed to not only not do that, but they did not even make the playoffs. I think they rebound this year and take the AL West. I think Keuchel rebounds. I like Giles at the closer spot. That offense is filled with young talent like Springer and Correa. I like Josh Reddick coming over. You got Jose Altuve. That's a damn good offense they got over there. And I think that they take over the number 1 spot in the division this year. Some may disagree, but that's just how I see it. I think there will be the 3 seed come playoff time in the American League. For me, the second place team is the Texas Rangers. They're certainly no slouch of a team. You got Hamels and Darvish leading the rotation. They bring Cashner over, which I think is a high-risk move, or a low-risk move, I should say. I think he's got a good, high ceiling, but he's also had some injury problems in the past and hasn't really lived up to what people thought he would be. But I like that addition. They bring in Tyson Ross, another guy. A lot of potential, injury history. We'll see what happens. But I think Texas certainly is going to be in the running for a wild card spot. They still got a really good offense, and that top of the rotation should have them above 500 for sure. For me, the third place team is the Seattle Mariners. I think their opportunity to make the playoffs was last year. They failed to do so. I think they're going to take a step back this year. Cruz, Cano, these guys are now, Cruz I think is 37, Cano's 34, going on 35. These guys are at some point going to hit a wall and start trending in the opposite direction. And I'm going to say it starts this year. Not to say those guys have horrible seasons, but I just think they will be slightly worse. And they weren't good enough last year to make the playoffs. And it's the same thing with Felix, by the way. He's on the downward side of his career. So I think the combination of a lot of guys on the downward side of their career dropped them to third in the division. For me, the fourth place team is the LA Angels. Not really much to say except Garrett Richards. I'm excited to see what he does this year. Was expected to have a big season last year before going down with the injury. And you got, of course, Mike Trout, who's really damn good, but his career is being wasted on a crappy team. So we'll see. I'll watch them a ton this year, I'm sure, because of Mike Trout, but I think they finish in fourth place. And then fifth place, I think, goes to Oakland. Not really much to say. Sorry for you Oakland fans, except that let's see if Sonny Gray can rebound this season. And if he does, I expect him to be moved at some point. So that's how I see the American League going. I'm going to break this up into 2 videos, guys, though. That's my American League season preview. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to come back and do a National League season preview. But that'll be up probably in the next 15 minutes. So thanks for checking in, guys. Comment down below if you agree on my American League predictions. If you don't agree, just let me know what you guys think. And thank God baseball's almost here. But like I said, I'll be back in a few for the National League preview. Thanks, guys. I'm out.